to the PHNX Sports Podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. It's your girls, it's Makayla, and it's Chierstin. I know Chierstin hates when I do that, but I'm going to stick with it anyway because I love that intro so much. I don't care if I talk about myself in the third person anymore. All shame has gone out the window at this point. Chierstin, it's Friday.
No, it's Friday then.
It's Saturday, Sunday. What? How you doing,
It's
Cheers?
Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What?
I really wish you could play that song on our YouTube channel, but we'll get demonetized.
I woke up ready for pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Because the Cardinals play preseason game tonight, and I just associate football with the fall. And I woke up like, I don't care who's going to be on the field tonight. Like, there's football happening tonight. I don't care if it means anything or not.
Yep.
Football's happening. And I woke up and I'm just like, man, I need a pumpkin spice latte right now.
Yes. I want fall so bad. I literally feel that in my core. I'm so glad you brought that up because fall is my favorite season. I am so tragically sad that we don't get to watch the leaves change in Arizona. But there is literally nothing better than sitting on your couch all day on Sunday, watching football nonstop, drinking a pumpkin spice latte under your covers on the couch, like elite.
Have you never been up to Flagstaff in the fall? It's the most beautiful thing ever.
No.
You ever been to upstate New York in the fall?
You guys, I literally lived in Colorado for 18 years. The fall doesn't get any better than the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh,
Or what is it? What would Chierstin say? Bull poop?
Yeah,
bull poop.
Poo.
Buffalo's fall in upstate New York is like in the Northeast.
Sean,
is prime.
I lived in the Rocky Mountains on the backside of a 14,000-foot mountain.
Apple picking and all the maple trees and the red leaves and the orange leaves, the colors.
You're going to start a war.
You
need to insert your face.
It's not even a fight at this point.
I don't think I can, sadly.
You can't?
No, sadly.
Not without great effort. You better get ready for Producer Decides, though.
Look at this. Look at this. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Before I literally go throttle Sean for thinking that upstate New York is better than the Rocky Mountains in fall.
I'm not saying it's in general. Upstate New York is literally the best. Josh,
my
dog.
God, get
my
out.
dog. This
Get
is my
out
chat
of my
now.
comments.
This is
All
my
of
chat
you.
now.
You are all banned.
I was also not comparing Flagstaff to literally anywhere else that has 4 seasons, but it is beautiful in the fall, and you definitely can see the leaves change. So that was my point.
Okay. Well, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Hit that subscribe button and the like button on YouTube right now so you don't ever miss anything that we do, especially TPSP on Friday. But speaking of pumpkin, Chierstin, do you know who makes the best pumpkin porter on the face of the freaking planet?
4 Peaks.
4 Peaks pumpkin porter, baby. It's pumpkin season, and I am so freaking amped.
Are
that
they
have
serving
it.
it yet?
I think so. I think they have it out, which I'm super excited about because I don't really drink porters, but that is the exception to the rule because it is so delicious. It's like you can't not drink it, you know? You know what I'm saying?
It's absolutely delicious. I feel like I am setting myself up for an interesting night when I drink pumpkin beer though of any sort because it's so good. I always end up drinking too much.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, we are partnering with 4 Peaks, as you all know, and we are searching for our next Toast of the Month sweepstakes winner. Enter to win a $50 4 Peaks gift card, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. Go to gophnx.com or click the link in the show notes. Show notes. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly. All right, Chierstin.
Mac, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to get down in the DMs?
Let's do it.
Y'all got down in our DMs. We asked you some questions.
Respectfully, I might add.
Asked you to ask us some questions, rather. And yes, we always keep it respectful.
Thank you for being respectful in our DMs.
Thank you for being respectful.
It's a rare occurrence these days, but we appreciate the respectful DMs.
We got lots of awesome DMs from you guys. Lots of questions that we are going to attempt to answer here. First and foremost, this is very much an attempt to answer because nobody freaking knows.
Yep.
What are the chances of KD coming to Phoenix? Thank you, Josh, for answering that question.
Josh,
the
is in our comments
chances.
too. Yeah, realistic chances. Oh, this is tough, Cheers. What do you think?
Dude, at this point, I don't even know if I want Kevin Durant anymore, to be honest with you.
You can't say that.
We're going to talk about it later in the show, and I've got my opinions. I feel like he kind of took it one step too far in this whole saga So I genuinely just don't even know how I feel about the situation. It's dragged on. I have like KD fatigue at this point. Like, I don't want to talk about it. We did see, and there's been some rumblings that he might be in Phoenix right now. Mike Drecke saying hearing KD landed in Phoenix around 7-ish p.m., has a driver who also provides his security. Technically, he can't meet with the Suns without permission, which does not preclude him from talking to Suns players. So
KD in the Valley?
Well, no confirmation for sure on that, but people are talking. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Maybe he's trying to show James Jones that, like, he really wants to be a Phoenix Sun.
Yeah. And this, of course, comes on the heels of him telling the owner that he can pick between him or the coach and the GM, and he has to choose.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about. I've got some strong opinions on that. But yeah, so he's basically giving ultimatums at this point. Like, I genuinely no longer have a pulse on this situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I genuinely thought that I had a strong inkling of where this was going when it first started happening. But now we're at this point, and it's gotten to the boiling point, I guess, where KD goes to Tsai and is like, look, you have to pick between Steve Nash, Sean Marks, or me. That's kind of, I mean, wow, that's escalated to a point that I didn't necessarily think it was going to get to. I definitely thought we would have had a resolution to this way before now, which again might just be my like ignorance with how quickly it takes to get superstar trades done in the NBA.
So he requested a trade June 30th. It's August 12th. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering what the holdup is here. Like, you had to have known that KD was going to put up a fight. So in my opinion, if it was that, like, I am not sure that they're making the right move by holding on to him as long as they have, because it doesn't seem like KD's going to stop his fight or be happy there or whatever the case is. So, like, at this point, I would just be like, let's just move the guy.
You could argue that the ultimatum is a de-escalation, though, because originally he was like, I want out. Doesn't matter what happens. I want out. And now he's like, you can keep me. You just got to fire the two most important people in your front office, basically.
Gosh, we're doing another segment later on, and I have so many thoughts on this whole thing, and I'm like trying to keep some of them in. I have a lot of thought. That is not de-escalation whatsoever. You are throwing people under the bus at this point, and I will expand on that later on in the show.
That is just a little teaser, so stay tuned for the rest of the show because we got a good one for you today. But I don't know. I mean, like, realistically, I wish I had a better, like, I really don't know. I think it could go so many ways. I mean, realistically, at this point, it's going to take multiple teams to get this done because the Nets have made it very clear that they're not as interested in the pieces that Phoenix has to offer as we originally thought they would be, meaning Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round draft picks, whatever it might be. It just doesn't seem like the Nets are biting at that. So you have to involve one or potentially two other teams in the trade to get KD here. And obviously that's probably going to take a while because there's so many moving pieces in that. But
I mean, unless they're just like, you know what, this guy's a freaking headache, just take him. Like, give us.
No,
like,
they wouldn't. It doesn't matter how much of a headache he is. He is a superstar player, like a
superstar player that's never going to play for
NBA.
you. So get what you can for him while you can. Like, I don't know. Is it better that he's just going to sit out a season potentially? And you don't have him or anyone else, or see what you can get for him at this point. Like, I don't know. At some point, like, there's got to be, like, something's got to give. Something has to give at some point.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think they would want to get to the point where KD's still on the roster, but sitting out or doing whatever he wants to do to avoid playing for Steve Nash and Sean Marks. But I just, I don't know. And the fact that he's here also kind of adds, well, potentially here, according to Mike Drecke, just adds like another layer of complexity to this already extremely complex cake of trade rumors, I guess. And I think it makes me even more like, I don't really have the same fatigue you do. Like, I want KD here at all costs, and I haven't given up hope that he can get here. So the fact that he is potentially here in the Valley now just kind of like makes me even more excited about this whole thing. And for whatever reason that he's here, whether it's to meet with Devin Booker to find out more about the team or to show Monty Williams and James Jones that he's very serious about playing in the Valley. I don't know what his reasonings are if he is here, but I'm all for it. Like, good for you.
How big of a flex / slap in the face would it be to just like trade him to like the worst team in the league for like nobody and just be like, here you go, Kevin.
I don't think they would do that, though. I think Sean Marks is smarter than that.
I'm just saying. I don't think they're going to do it. I'm just saying. Entertain it for a moment.
That would
be the ultimate flex.
That would be interesting. You
want to cause some chaos in the NBA?
The drama. But yeah, so I mean, if we're putting percentage on it to answer Josh's question of like what the realistic chances are, I genuinely think I have it at like 50-50. Like I genuinely think it could go either way. And the fact that he's potentially here in the Valley definitely makes me want to lean like 60-40, but I just don't want to get too excited because I'm an internal optimist, and being an optimist as an Arizona sports fan has done nothing but upset me my entire life. So that's where I would put it. What about you, Cheers?
Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine at this point. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I also don't know. I don't know what is going on in the Nets' mind anymore. I don't know how the Suns feel about it anymore. Like, I just don't know. Like, anytime I thought I had a grasp on it, like, it's just led to nothing. So, again, like, June 30th is when he requested that trade. Like, we're really far into this. So, we attempted to answer that question for you. I don't know.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Katie's just here to enjoy the beautiful Arizona summer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. I thought you were going to say, like, Scottsdale. Like,
what Scottsdale that has
too.
To offer. You never know.
All right, let's move on. Does Kyler Murray have what it takes to lead the Cardinals to a Super Bowl? Thank you for that question. How do you say that name?
I don't know. I'm not going to try it.
Well, the @is Xavier.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Xavier.
All right, we'll go with Xavier. Xavier 1320. All right.
Maybe it's Javier because it's Lehav. Lehav.
Okay, we
Good
don't
point,
know. We're sorry about that. Does Kyler have what it takes to lead the Cardinals to a Super Bowl?
I think so, yes. I think maybe not this year. I think this year, hopefully they'll get further into the playoffs than they did last year. But I think he has a extremely high ceiling. And I've said this before on previous episodes, but I don't think we've seen all that Kyler Murray has to offer yet. I don't think he's hit his ceiling. So the potential of what he has to offer really does intrigue me. And I think as long as he can keep his head down and kind of stay out of the media circus that has been circulating the past couple of months and really focus in and do at least 4 hours of study each week, film study each week, I think Kyler can do it. I think he's extremely talented. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and we all know the NFL is a quarterbacks league. So I think he can. I don't know if it's this year, hopefully within the terms of his contract extension, obviously, but I think he does, and I think he will.
Yeah, I've said this before. I don't think that he has the ability to single-handedly take the team to a Super Bowl. But Kyler Murray is a very talented quarterback. And if he continues to improve the way that he has each season of his NFL career, I think we're going to get a Kyler Murray this year that we haven't seen before in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, like, not only, like, skill set on the field, but, like, the intangibles that go along with that as well. You know, I'm not going to get into leadership, but I think he's going to make another big jump in all aspects of his game. And so do I think that he could be the quarterback on a Super Bowl championship team? I do. Do I think that he's a guy that you insert anywhere and all of a sudden you're just a Super Bowl caliber team? No, I don't. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the franchise quarterback here for a reason. He was signed to that long-term big money extension because the organization has faith in him that he can be that guy. So
yeah, I don't think, like you said, I don't think the Cardinals would have signed him to that contract extension if they didn't think that he was going to be able to deliver them a Super Bowl title while also paying him all of that money. So I think he can. It's just a matter of when.
I think an important caveat to that question, though, is can he lead the Cardinals to a Super Bowl? And personally, I don't know if I trust the Cardinals to put him in a position to win a Super Bowl.
Well,
I think he could lead a team to a Super Bowl, but I don't know if he could lead the Cardinals.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think, like, Kyler Murray in and of himself is going to lead any team, including this Cardinals team. But
I mean, really, who has that ability, though? Tom Brady? But, like,
Joshua,
Tom Brady had
Patrick Allen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's several quarterbacks out there. I don't think that he's, like...
Yeah, but they also, like, to Sean's point, those teams, like the Bills, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they put pieces in place around their quarterbacks to also make the team.
Yeah, but he
both
has
sides
pieces.
of the ball good.
He has pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Josh Allen, he obviously hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but they gave him Stephon Diggs, and it completely changed his career. Obviously, Tom Brady in Tampa, he had one of the best receiving corps in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
So he's got guys like
now he's got Hollywood
Hopkins,
and D-Hop.
Hollywood Brown.
I mean, this is, like you said, this probably isn't the year, especially with D-Hop being out for first half of the season. But like next year, you have arguably one of, if not the best 1-2 punch as a receiving core in the NFL.
Yeah,
So
I definitely
the
agree.
excuses
But
are limited.
I just get worried when it comes to the Cardinals because they were so aggressive last season in bringing in J.J. Watt and Zach Ertz and other pieces, and then James Conner, et cetera, et cetera. And then this offseason, it feels like to me like they punted on the season before it even started. Like they were so quiet in free agency and the offseason signings. And I was like, okay, guys, like I get that you think that the team is good, but there's still some major position depth lacking in that they could have addressed in the offseason that they didn't. And so I'm just constantly confused about what is going through Steve Keim's head when he's making these decisions, because how can you be so aggressive a season ago and then this season you barely do anything?
But
and I don't think they have the pieces.
I don't think anyone expected them to be super aggressive in the offseason this year.
Well, not super. I expected them to bring in some bigger names than they did, for sure. So I just don't. I mean, I kind of see where Sean's coming from when he says he doesn't think that maybe the Cardinals are going to do what it takes to put the pieces around Kyler to win a Super Bowl. Because if we're all on the same page that Kyler's not enough to win a Super Bowl on his own, do we have the confidence in the Cardinals to be the organization that's going to put the pieces around him to be a Super Bowl contender?
I think yes. I think that the jury's still out on Kliff Kingsbury for sure. His in-game adjustments, him with a reputation of having teams die down at the end of the season for sure. Like, can we get over the Kliff Kingsbury hump? Like, I think that's definitely still a question mark. But outside of that, like, this isn't a bad roster by any means. There's definitely some question marks, but you also have guys that can very well exceed expectations that are on, like, very talented guys that have the ability to exceed expectations. So, whether it's this year or whether it's next year, like, I think the Cardinals can be right there in the conversation. Now, I don't know. Are they as good as like the Rams? Certainly not. I don't think that. I mean, like they'll have to make some get some more names on the roster, whatever. But if you just take a look at what at least the offensive side of the ball brings to the table and will bring to the table at the end of the season, I can hang with the best of them.
That's fair.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Which sport, I like this one, from Elizabeth, thank you. Which pro team has the most irritating fan base? Oh, we're going a little out of order. Okay, all right. Which pro team has the most irritating fan base besides LA teams?
Oh, this is such a great question.
All right, you go first then.
I mean, it's pretty easy for me. Well, okay, I actually have a couple different answers based on the sport. So the most irritating fan base in hockey to me is the St. Louis Blues. I hate Blues fans. They think that they are the best thing since sliced bread because they won the cup a couple years ago, and they're so entitled and they're so whiny, and it drives me absolutely nuts. So I hate Blues fans. For baseball, Red Sox.
No, that's not even close to true. And
yeah,
you know
yes,
that's not true. It's the New York Yankees. They haven't won a World Series. They won one World Series this century. There's one World Series since 2000.
Sean, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I think it's Red Sox fans. I think they're the absolute worst with their stupid Boston accents. But I'm also
you just hate Boston people.
No, I'm jaded because of 2007 World Series.
You're a Red Sox fan?
Yes.
Die hard.
It's so annoying. So I think
Sox
the Red Sox fans are the
baby.
worst. Actually, I think any group, like regional group of fans that are worse are New England fans. Anybody who supports a New England team,
otherwise,
I can't. They act like the most crybaby, victimized fans in all of sports, and they are literally title town over there, and they are the worst. I hate New England fans. I don't care if it's the Patriots, if it's the Red Sox, if it's the Bruins, if it's the Celtics. All of them suck.
I have no issues with New England.
The only thing I will say about New England fans is at least that their confidence is like warranted. Like they've actually won a lot of things.
But they don't have confidence though. Any slight inconvenience that happens to them, it's like the world is ending. And
Such as?
Get over yourself. Like,
I have no
so
obnoxious.
Such as, bro, give me. I need an example.
Like when Tom Brady lost a single game one season, they were like crying like the world was over. It's so obnoxious. Ugh, I can't stand New England fans. Sorry, but that whole region is trash. Throw them all away. They're second worst compared to LA.
That's not true. Chierstin?
I disagree with that for sure. I have no issues whatsoever with New England. I do think Yankees fans can not be great. I also think Cowboys fans are really obnoxious.
Boom.
Like that's
that's
the fan base
I don't
for
like
me.
Cowboys fans are the Yankees fans of football.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I mean, first and foremost, like you asked that question without the parentheses. Shit, is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parentheses? Okay, geez.
Yes.
I was like, what? Without the parentheses saying, like, we're like outside of LA fans, like I'm going LA.
Oh yeah,
every
LA
single
by far and
time.
away. But if I have to pick someone outside of LA,
Yeah, I'm going Yankees and Cowboys for sure.
I know the Southwest is jaded towards LA fans, but I really don't think LA fans are nearly as bad as New York fans.
They're like disrespectful though.
Yeah.
Too.
Have you been in New York City?
Well, that's true.
That's all they do
Eagles
is be
fans
disrespectful.
are also the worst.
Eagles
just
fans
because
suck.
They're so abrasive and so mean.
I hate all of kind of like the Rust Belt teams because none of them are really good at anything.
Yeah.
But Cowboys fans are definitely the worst because they have not won anything.
Yeah.
Plus, the worst kind of fans specifically are the Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers,
Yes, yeah.
Duke fans,
And
like
also
those people.
like the LeBron and Tom Brady fans, like fans that are just fans of Tom Brady,
Oh,
doesn't
I
care
love
what
Tom
team
Brady.
he goes. No,
I
I hate Tom
love
Brady.
Tom
I
Brady.
hated Tom Brady for all of my life
Hate
because he
Tom
was a
Brady with
Patriot and he ruined my life.
Every
I
single fiber of my being.
I like Tom Brady a lot. I respect him. He's the best quarterback of all time.
Mhm.
But the fans that like don't have a team allegiance and just like support LeBron James or Tom Brady wherever they go,
I respect
worst.
that because
Worst.
when it comes to basketball, I'm kind of
Worst.
like that. Like I root for players more than
No.
teams in particular.
No, pick a team and stick with it.
For the record, though, you're all wrong. The worst fans are University of Arizona fans. Oh, we're going to beat Arizona this year. Oh, we're a good basketball program. Win a national championship. Like recently, please.
I'll take that. All right, let's move on to the next question. Who will last longer in Arizona? Kliff Kingsbury or Monty Williams? This question from Ryan. Thanks for the question.
This is a very
This
easy
is
question
an
for me.
easy question for me.
Monty by far and away. Monty has proven way more than Kliff has proven, and he has earned more of that contract than Kliff ever has earned.
They like win a title next year, and he's just like, I want to spend time with my family.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
retire.
true. Yeah. If we're talking like solely like performance based and the team decides when their time is done, Monty will last longer than Kliff does by miles. But I can also see Monty wanting to retire after he wins a title and just, right off into the sunset with his ring. And
I would
his
say
championship.
if the question is who will have the opportunity to last longer, like I think it's
that's a good way
all
to
on
put it.
Monty.
Yeah.
For sure. If he
Mhm.
decides to, walk away or whatever, like I would get that too.
Listen,
Yeah.
if the Suns don't win a championship and they get knocked out by the Mavs in the first or second round and the
So he's on the hot seat
no.
now?
All
That's
saying,
what you're implying.
all I'm saying is that the Cardinals have more room to grow. So even if the Cardinals just win one playoff game this year,
argument is ridiculous.
listen, if the Cardinals win just one playoff game this year, Kliff saves his seat for another year. If you get
if the Suns get bounced out of the playoffs this year, Monty's not going anywhere.
If the Suns get bounced out of the playoffs early and then they do it again the next year, I think there's a chance that I agree with you that I think Monty, if you're looking at it right now, Monty has a better chance. But I don't think it's as clear as you're making it. I think if the Suns struggle for 2 straight years and Kliff manages to win one playoff game this year and then 2 playoff games next year, then even if they're not getting to a Super Bowl, they're showing progress and the Suns hit a wall. Because I think
you were off your rocker.
I
I think it would take
I also
a
think
lot
the players
to get
would
Monty
advocate.
fired.
I think the players would advocate. No, we don't. Why are you?
The
Why would you get
Suns
rid of our
ride
head
or die
coach?
for
Wait
Monty.
until Kevin Durant is here and he's like, it's me or Monty Williams. And then it's you never know.
The question is easy. I don't care what kind of
That's also the thing, too, with basketball is it's a lot more one player can be I don't like this coach. And then things look what happened with him, with Monty and DA. DA's got this contract now. If things get really bad, and they would pick
Monty over DA.
I'm just saying, basketball.
Sean, your arguments
I have thoughts. I'm gonna say thoughts later on in the show.
I'm just saying, basketball is more of a player doesn't like a coach and he can be gone. I don't think that's necessarily the case with football as much.
That's not the case.
True.
We're not. Oh
it's more a case. It's more true.
David, can you mute his mic, please?
It's more a case with basketball than it is with football. 100%. There's
David,
52 people on a football roster.
Just
There's
mute his mic.
15 on a basketball roster.
All right. Anyway, the answer is Monty, and nothing could change my mind. Let's go to the next question.
Sean, we respect your opinions.
No, we don't. Not today.
Michael asks, which sport would be the recipient for the coolest/entertaining benefit if the athletes wore GoPros the whole time? So which sport would be the most entertaining to have athletes wear GoPros on their heads?
Hockey. For sure.
I think it's football. I think it's football. Have you ever wanted to see a catch from quarterback releasing it all the way in the air where their eyes are at and then goes right into their like chest for a catch.
I just want to see hockey players beat each other up. I just want to know what it's like to see them like swinging fisticuffs on ice, on skates, like beating each other.
I don't know why, but as soon as I saw this question, I was thinking like their lives off the ice, like or like off the field. I don't. But now that you say that, I'm like, I don't know why I thought that, because I was just like, obviously basketball, right? But then you said hockey, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh yeah, I think hockey would be pretty dope.
Yeah, I want to see them skate. I want to see them score goals from their perspective, just because like hockey is like my favorite sport to watch live, but it's so hard to keep track of the puck sometimes because you're at like a higher vantage point. So I would love to see that from their perspective on the ice. Like, and I think hockey is the hardest sport to play because you're literally on knives on a slippery surface. Like people are beating you up, like hitting you into boards. Like I just would love to see that from their perspective.
Like your camera would be blinded. Like you wouldn't actually be able to see.
You're thinking too much from a production standpoint.
Josh, that's what I was gonna say. Josh makes a good point. It's gonna be hard to get good video. I will say either a catcher or a goalie would be incredible. Like to see a hockey goalie, his perspective of like saving shots, I think that would be super dope.
Yeah. But you're going football, Cheers?
I mean, I think so. I just feel like you would get some really cool actual footage. That's the way that I perceived all of it. Like, I don't think that you would get the same the perspective that I think you're thinking you would get, you couldn't actually get from a GoPro. Like, I'm looking at it from a very realistic aspect.
Yeah, I think you got to look at it more like not necessarily specifically a GoPro, but like if you have like cameras like built into the helmet type thing, I think if you actually can get good footage, what would it be? And don't worry so much about the production.
I believe the question was a GoPro.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in the spirit of the question.
Okay, I'm with you. I mean, I think literally any sport would be interesting, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like hockey for sure.
I think if you want to hear shit talking, like hockey and football are going to be your best bet to get shit talking.
Oh, basketball too. If you got like just a mic strapped to somebody and the stuff that they're saying at like the free throw line. Snowboarding too. Some like extreme sports would be really dope.
All right, next question.
All right. Josh asking if you could have anyone as your pickleball partner, who would it be? I have like a really easy one. I think I kind of mailed it on this one, but it's just what it would be. And it's Larry because he's a really good pickleball player. And
really?
He loves pickleball.
I did not know that. Well, I was in the same vein. I was going to pick JJ Watt because that whole story of his brother getting beat in pickleball by some random lady and went viral on Twitter. And JJ was talking about how he beat his brother playing pickleball. So I was going to pick JJ. So we kind of went the same route.
Okay, you and JJ Watt against me and Larry?
Oh, sign us up. JJ and Larry, if you're listening, which we know you're not, meet us at the pickleball court.
That's like, what's the version of, that'd be like the match for.
Yes.
It's like a pro-am. Who wins though? Who do you think wins?
Oh, me and JJ for sure.
I don't know
really?
About that.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know how good those two are, but I feel like one of you is way better at pickleball than the other one.
Well, we won't say who. We'll keep the users guessing, the listeners guessing. But speaking of pickleball, shout out to our friends at Pickleball Kingdom. They hosted our all-staff meeting yesterday, and oh my God, I had the time of my life, which I think is a monumental statement coming from me because I thought pickleball was so lame. I roasted Chierstin for weeks about her playing pickleball. I thought she was a granny. And then I got out there and I played pickleball, and it was like the best time of my life. It was so much fun. Pickleball Kingdom was great. The facilities are beautiful. It's nice and indoors, so it's air conditioning, so you can go play pickleball whenever you want. And it was seriously so much fun. I can't recommend it enough if you just want to go for a workout, get a group of friends together, go for a corporate event with your company. It was a blast.
Yeah, and the best part about it is it's air conditioned, and we were talking about right at the end, we played 10 games. We were exhausted. We were like, hey, we should come back on Saturday. Like, it was that much fun. And they also give a free lesson too. I believe
it's very helpful for me.
Yeah, so like I think it's with a membership, but it was like they told you and explained, like broke down like how to play the game, all the rules. And I've been playing pickleball for a little while, and there were rules that I didn't even know. Like I just tried to pick up the sport by simply just playing and watching other people, but they really broke it down. So even somebody who like plays pickleball, I got a lot out of it. We just had the best time, and we're not just saying that. Like We were like, Makayla, you and I were literally like dancing in the car, like all smiles.
Yeah, it was
like
so
we
much
were on
fun.
cloud nine.
Coming from the girl who doesn't like her heart rate to get above 80 beats per minute, I had a great freaking time. Check out more information at pickleballkingdom.com if you want to learn more or sign up to play.
All right, let's move on to our next question. Where do you see ASU and Arizona football finishing in the Pac-12 this season? Who has the higher ceiling when it comes to potential wins? Any chance of a bowl bid for either team? And that is coming from SCO Buffs/Broncos.
Hey, love that combo. I have Arizona finishing 4th in the Pac-12 South and Arizona State finishing 5th in the Pac-12 South. I think Arizona has a little bit of an edge on Arizona State this year in the terms of the talent that they acquired. Arizona went on the freaking road and pulled in some huge names this offseason. They got Jacob Cowing from UTEP as a transfer, who I'm really excited to watch play. I think he's probably going to be one of the best wide receivers in college football this year. So I definitely think Arizona has a little bit of an edge, and that kills me to say, obviously, because I went to Arizona State. But I just think I have a little bit more confidence in their head coach, the recruiting that he's done, and the talent that is on their roster. I think there's a ton of question marks when it comes to Arizona State. I'm not quite sure if Herm's necessarily the guy anymore. They had a ton of transfers from their roster this offseason because of various reasons. Obviously, the recruiting disaster and the NCAA violations caused a lot of that. Their weird stance on NIL caused a lot of transfers. And in turn because of the crazy recruiting violation, they didn't get a lot of 4-star, 5-star commits. Their recruiting class really wasn't that great. And also they have a new QB coming in, and we haven't seen anything from him yet, so I'm not sure what to expect. Obviously, he's got a high ceiling, but I just don't really know what that's going to deliver. So I do have Arizona edging out Arizona State this year in the Pac-12 South. And that's what I got.
I think they're both bottom of the barrel Pac-12 teams. But I think that ASU has the potential to really exceed expectations. I'm super high in Emory Jones, and I do have a little bit of an SEC bias. So if you're coming from an SEC school, I'm automatically going to give you a little bit of respect out the gate. But from what I've seen, from what I've heard, I am really excited about this guy, and I think everybody should be really excited. It's an upgrade, in my opinion, from Jaden Daniels.
Ooh.
And so, ASU lost a lot of players, and I think, like, a lot of people's initial reactions are like, dang, like, they lost, like, some big, they lost, like, running backs and some, like, big name and really talented weapons, but the guys that have transferred in as well have high ceilings, and there's a lot of question marks, but again, like, a lot of potential to exceed those expectations. I think a lot of people just don't really know because there's so many new pieces on this team, but in my opinion, they have a higher ceiling than Arizona, no doubt. And I definitely have more faith in the peeps up here in the valley than I do down south. So that's my opinion. But honestly, I think a lot of people are projecting them to be among the worst in the Pac-12.
I think Colorado definitely finishes last, so we don't have to worry about Colorado. I think Colorado is a disaster of a football program right now.
All right, Sean, what is your take?
I'm speechless, Mac. First off, ASU has the 17th best transfer class in the country. U of A is not top 25, so there's that. Emory Jones, they have a better quarterback. They have a better rush offense. Xavier Valade, the transfer from Wyoming, is on the preseason watch list for the Doak Award for best running back in the country. And Daniel Ngata is going to be a great number 2. Their defense, I think, is not going to be as bad as people think it's going to be. They got Nesta Jade Silvera, a transfer from Miami, who was probably the best player on that Miami defense. Jordan Clark is going to be a leader. They still have Merlin Robinson and Kyle Soley. Are we forgetting that U of A won one game last year? Like, is one of the worst teams in the entire country in college football?
They're trash.
To expect them to make that big of a jump is a little ridiculous.
In fact, this is a great segue into right now. The DraftKings Sportsbook app has the over-under on wins for a season for Arizona at 3. 3 games. Like, that's it. And ASU, on the other hand, the line is at 6. So,
I've been burned and scorned by ASU in the past, and I refuse to buy into the hype anymore.
Not against ASU.
I think Arizona State is not a serious football program. I'm not saying Arizona is, but I'm just not buying into the hype. I'm sorry. I don't think that they have the camaraderie. I don't think they have the what it takes to be a serious football team. I don't think they're going to make a bowl game this year. I don't think that they are going to be taken seriously anytime soon. So I'm not buying into the Arizona State hype. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't think that they are on the same level as other college football teams. And I think Arizona has a higher ceiling because of the way that they recruited. I think Jedd Fisch is the guy. And I just have more faith in Arizona. I'm not saying that Arizona is a miles better than Arizona State. I'm just saying Arizona's going to finish 4th and Arizona State is going to finish 5th. It's not like I'm saying that Arizona is the best football team in the country. I'm just saying I have a little bit more faith in Arizona to deliver than I have in Arizona State right now.
What's up, Chierstin? How you doing, Chierstin?
Arizona is trash.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened last
right
year. Last year is completely wiped clean. Like, yes, they only won one football game last year, but they didn't have the talent that they recruited in the offseason. They now have another year with Jedd Fisch. Like, it's all different.
Their over-under is set heading into the season.
I don't care. I don't look at lines. Look at all the people agreeing with me.
This isn't college basketball. Like, 1 year of recruits of freshmen isn't going to change everything.
It's my opinion.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. I'm just saying.
Arizona's going to beat Arizona State this year. Sorry.
But Sean, are you?
Oh my God.
Sean,
okay, Mike Luke.
Are you thinking that Arizona State is not amongst like the bottom of the Pac-12 though? Because I still think that whether you finish 3rd or 4th in the Pac-12, like I don't think that they're going to like massively like blow expectations.
I think they're a middle of the pack. I think they're going to be 6th or 7th in the Pac-12. I think they'll be 3rd or 4th in the South because they have to deal with Utah and USC, who I think are going to be the best and 3rd best teams, maybe 2nd best in the entire conference.
For sure.
But they're better than Arizona and they're better than Colorado.
Those are like the 2 teams you can say, okay, like I agree with you on
but
that.
they're I think, like, I don't have them in front of me, but we did power rankings on the ASU Sun Devil show at one point. We're live at 3 today, by the way. And like, there's a lot of question marks surrounding a lot of these teams. Like, almost every school in this conference has a new quarterback this year. So if we're going to get in the quarterback thing, like, it's a whole, everyone is going through something new. And also everybody on this team, and I get it's a little bit of like you hear this all the time thing, but like everybody on this team is saying that they're closer than they've ever been. Like, it's a super tight knit team now. Because they have all this noise that's fueling them and people like Mac who are doubting them. For the record, though, Mac's take is not like ridiculous by any means. Like, there's a lot of people who agree with Mac. Like, the media has U of A finishing. There was 3 people that had ASU finishing last in the conference, even below Colorado, which that is ridiculous. Colorado is terrible. So I'm not sitting here like Mac's not taking this out of nowhere. Like, I understand the take, but I think as someone who is a fan of ASU, it's just I have a lot of faith in Emory Jones. I have
none. Arizona State's broken my heart so many times that I'm over it. And
ASU is in a bowl game this year.
Figure it out, and until they get a new athletic director, I'm checked out of that program. Sorry.
ASU is in a bowl game.
All right, let's get rolling because we need to speed things up a little bit to get to the next segment.
All right. Well, before we head to our next segment, I did mention that right now over under for Arizona is at 3 wins this year heading into the season. For ASU, it's 6 games. If you want to get in on the action, if you feel strongly like Makayla is and you want to put your money down where your beliefs are about one team or another, head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, download it, use that promo code PHNX. You can make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Again, that's using the promo code PHNX only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions do apply, though. See show notes for details. All right, let's do one last quick question because I know we had several that we're not going to get to, and then we'll head into our final segment. But one more question from our down in the DMs.
Do you have a particular question you want?
Nope, just throw it up for us, Sean.
Let's do the snacks question.
Okay, all right. Our last question is, what's the most overrated snack you can get at any sporting event?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh,
I mean, I'm just going to flat out say peanuts are the most disgusting
Thank you. That was what I was going to say.
Disgusting.
I don't want to work for my food. I'm also allergic to peanuts.
Well, you might actually break out into hives and stop breathing if you eat them. That's one reason that they're overrated. But yeah, peanuts are disgusting.
Yeah, that's tough. I want to I don't know. I think I was going to go with one answer, but then I changed my mind. I wanted to explain my reasoning. So my favorite stadium snack of all time are soft pretzels, but I think that they can sometimes go one of two ways. Like sometimes you get like the most banging soft pretzel you've ever had in your life, like soft, buttery, the perfect amount of salt, like so good. And then sometimes you get a stale ass, cold, hard, no salt lump of hard pretzel.
Yeah, you're right.
And it makes me so sad. And I can see why people would say soft pretzels are overrated because it's literally just bread and salt. And if it's bad, it's really bad. But I love soft pretzels too much to say that. So I don't know. I also I kind of want to be controversial and say hot dogs because it's just a hot dog. I can go home. Yeah, I can go home and stick a hot dog in the microwave and put a bun and then eat it. It's not.
Yeah, but if you put all the toppings on a hot dog, I don't typically eat hot dogs, but I know how delicious they are.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely an experience too. If you're at a baseball game, you have to get a hot dog. So I definitely understand that, but at the same time, it's a hot dog. I would never eat a hot dog at a football game or a basketball game. So I think I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna go with hot dog because it's literally just random parts of meat.
You just killed Sean, I feel like.
I don't care. That's what I'm trying to do today. So yeah, I'm going with hot dog because I think it's weird, gross, and also I'd beef. And if I want one, I can just go home and stick it in a microwave.
I do agree with you, Mac. If I'm not at a baseball game, I want nothing to do with a hot dog for the most part. It's really just I'm only in the mood if I'm at a baseball game.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to our next and last segment, Producer Decides. And this is where Makayla gets super mad at Sean because he always picks me to win.
For the record, I am 0-2 in this stupid fucking segment, and I'm already really annoyed with Sean, so this is going to be a great time. I'm so excited about this.
It's going to start a war. All right, go for it, Sean.
All right, you know how this works. I give you a question. You each get 90 seconds, I believe. Is that what we decided on?
Yeah, 90 seconds. Also, you need to be in the middle of the screen.
I cannot do that in eCam.
Oh, all right.
But the first question that we have is a interesting one. I didn't even know this was a topic of conversation, to be honest with you. But the question is fantasy football dead? Mac, I'll have you go first because apparently you're annoyed with me and I want to win back. I want to be back in your good graces. So your time starts right now.
Look, fantasy football is a lot of work, from getting a group together to drafting players like you're actually the GM of a team, to maintaining that roster throughout the entire football season, to making trades, to making roster decisions. It's just so much work. And to me, it takes the enjoyment out of football. At my core, I am a football fan. I love to just sit on my couch, watch games, and enjoy them. But if I keep getting notifications on my phone about how bad my players are sucking, it makes me angry, physically angry. And I don't enjoy that. Instead, I would like to invest my time and energy in sports betting and in money, and actually potentially making money on live bets during football games. I think live betting on football is my favorite sport to live bet on. And I would rather invest my time and energy into potentially winning money and to following along with the game when I'm sports betting. So I would rather do sports betting than fantasy football. I also think fantasy football has just gotten ridiculous. The amount of vitriol in the internet from people making fun of the athletes for having a bad game and ruining their fantasy team. Grow up. Come on. There are so many better things to spend your time and energy on than worrying about how your fantasy football team is doing. Get a life, go try sports betting, make some money.
15
live
seconds.
Bet on football. And so I think if it's between fantasy football and live sports betting, I'm doing live sports betting. And I think fantasy football is just, I'm kind of over it.
All right.
Hold on, let me clear my throat before I go. Okay.
All right. Chierstin, your time starts now.
All right. I love fantasy football. It allows me to keep in touch with friends, former coworkers from all over the country that I haven't seen in ages. If only for a season, I'll take it. For me, it's the sending memes to friends without having actual conversations type of relationships that I need in my life. It provides a bit of friendly competition, something that I also need and crave. And yes, it is a lot of work, and it's hard to remember to set a lineup every week. We've all forgotten to do it, been screwed by forgetting to set the lineup, and consequently starting a quarterback that is on a bye, and it sucks, and it's infuriating. And you begin to question why you ever play this game in the first place. But it is the most fun if you are fully invested. It's a way to also keep track of all the teams and players and how they're doing it. It's like another great way to just keep your eyes on the NFL. And it's so great that it had an entire TV show around its greatness. Shout out to the Shiva Trophy. Daily or even in-game sports betting is just your quick fix. It is truly wonderful in its own right, but it can never replace pure fantasy football.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mac. First off, why not both? Like I bet on sports and I play fantasy.
There are a lot of people that no longer play fantasy though and just do like in-game or like daily sports betting. A lot of people.
That's crazy. But like, I mean, first off, if you're to Mac's point about like people getting mad at players for fantasy when they got actual money on the line, like it doesn't get any better. Like people get mad at players for losing them bets. Plus, like I don't know, fantasy's just fun. I'm a competitive person, so like when I get an opportunity to compete in someone and also make my friends look stupid, I relish in the opportunity. So
am I the only one that like plays with people that like the coworkers that I was working with like 5 years ago?
Oh yeah, my league, I have friends with that I played with in college that I haven't seen in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So I agree with you in that sense too. It is a cool way to reconnect with people that you haven't seen in a while, and also the league. I fucking love that show. So topic 1 point goes to Chierstin. Now on for our second topic though. In honor of the Field of Dreams, you want to watch the video first, in case people don't know what we're talking about?
Oh, snap. Yes. So this happened yesterday at the Field of Dreams game.
All right. Let me hear you. Good and loud. On 1, on 2, on 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for them. If they...
Harry Carey in hologram form is unbelievable.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was everything that I've wanted in a Field of Dreams game. Field of Dreams is obviously one of my favorite baseball movies. So to just have that all like that scenery, they set up the game, the uniforms, like Harry Carey singing the 7th inning stretch, like oh my gosh, it was so unreal. Like I loved every second of that. Obviously it was a hologram, but I thought it was so cool, so nostalgic. I literally would have started crying real tears if I was there, like on site, just sobbing my eyes out.
Are you aware? Do you know what the uncanny valley is? It's like the uncomforting feeling you get when you see something that's like really close to being real and human, but you know isn't. It's the reason that a lot of people don't like the movie Polar Express. That's what I got from that. It made me so uncomfortable. It just, I like the idea behind it. It just gave me shivers because you could there's a little bit you could tell where it's not real. I mean, obviously it's not real, but
it's so special and like what a way to honor somebody, in my opinion. I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and they have like this whole setup where it's like this hologram show of people like legends of the game. And I remember like sitting in there being like, gosh, this is as close as I'm ever going to get of experiencing what it was like to play, in the early days of football or whatever, or like be around legends that I'll obviously never get to be around. So like I am all for that. I think it's an amazing way to honor somebody and just such a cool experience for people who obviously would have never gotten to experience and only can read about it or, watch videos or like whatever the case is. So I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why you would think it was cool. It just makes me a little too uncomfortable. But in honor of the Field of Dreams thing, our second Producers Decides topic is pretty simple. What is the best sports movie of all time? Since Mac went first last time, I'll let Chierstin go first this time. And your time starts right now.
The best sports movie of all time by far is Rudy. The best movies in general are the ones that just write themselves, the ones that light a fire in you and can make you, even for a moment after you watch it, just believe in yourself. Also, the ones that are based on true events for like that's what does it for me. Like if a movie is inspiring and also based on true events, like I'm all here for that, and that is Rudy. It's a story of an underdog. Rudy had every reason, circumstance as to why he'd never be able to fulfill his dream of playing football at Notre Dame. He overcame obstacles, poverty, dyslexia, physical hurdles, tragedy, all the things in this real story that set him back, and he fought his way onto the team to become a fighting Irish. And all leads to him getting carried off the field. Again, you just can't write a script better than that. And the final play of his season, the dude records a sack.
30
like,
seconds.
Are you kidding me? Again, you can't make it up. It's an amazing story, but it's also an amazing story because it's true. And it sends a message to anyone that's ever been an underdog in life that, you know, with relentless grit, you can accomplish your dreams, all the things. And that's what gets me up for any sports movie. And that's why it's Rudy for me.
All right. And then, Mac, your time starts right now.
Well, sticking in the same vein of true stories and an underdog, my favorite sports movie and the best sports movie of all time by far and away is Miracle. I can't say enough about this movie. Obviously, it's based on true events, but the two reasons it's the best sports movie on all time is simple. It has raw emotion. Miracle is the ultimate underdog movie, and it also goes in with one of the most historic sporting events in the history of America during a time where the Cold War was raging and all emotions were really high. Very rarely do we get really true patriotic moments as watching the USA defeat Russia and win a gold medal. There are few times in history where I have felt more proud to be American, even though I wasn't alive. Watching that movie made me feel that pride and the raw emotions, the true underdog story, the unbelievable tale of coming from behind and beating the commies is just something that I love with my entire heart. It's inspirational. It's marked with greatness at every end, from grueling, beautiful practice scenes to the final 5 seconds of the game when they finally beat Russia.
30 seconds.
And two, it has meaning. While people would probably say like movies like Rudy also have meaning, they would seem to forget the purpose of this movie, which is something far greater than ourselves, which is the pride in our country and the ability to come from behind and do something as amazing as what that team did when they beat Russia to win the gold medal. Miracle. And that also, okay, can we talk about the locker room scene really quick? That locker room scene and that speech makes me cry like a baby every single time. That speech in the locker room is one of the best cinematic scenes in any history of any movie ever. Miracle is the best sports movie of all time, no doubt.
Okay, I'm not going to penalize you for going slightly over the time, mainly because I don't think this one's even close. Like, Miracle is the movie. First off, the scene, who do you play for? Who do you play for? United States.
I cannot argue with patriotism for a second.
And that's one of those things where it's like, I'm ready to punch a Russian in the face type thing. Like that movie is amazing. And also, do you believe in miracles is one of the greatest, play-by-play calls, if not the greatest play-by-play call in history. That movie is just absolutely iconic. And just, yeah, like Max said, the context of it, Cold War, the Russians were basically cheating, putting professionals against college kids, and these college kids just embarrassed Russia or the Soviet Union. I don't think it's particularly close. Miracle, I agree. The only movie I will say that I think might compete in my opinion, for the greatest sports movie of all time is Remember the Titans. But between these two, I think Miracle. I love Rudy. I understand the love for it, but Miracle is just on a whole different level.
We Are Marshals, another. I mean, there's so many good ones.
Sports movies are amazing.
Hoosiers.
Yeah,
Hoosiers is a great one. Invincible, right? Was that the one with Mark Wahlberg? There's just so many great sports movies.
Moneyball, kind of.
Moneyball is a good one. I do love that. I love the meme that came out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this point goes to Mac. Sorry, Chierstin. This is not particularly close. Also, like Elizabeth said, going to the Miracle on Ice Museum, I've been there at the rink in Lake Placid, and you're standing there, and you're like, you could just feel the moment. That's
so cool.
It's incredible. But moving on to our final topic and our decider, will Mac finally be able to get off the loser board, or will she move to 0-3?
The answer's no.
And we'll see. If you're Nets owner Joe Tsai, and this is not like who do you think's right and who's wrong. Like, it's if you're Joe Tsai and you have to make a decision between keeping generational talent KD or keeping the leaders of your franchise, really, and your head coach Steve Nash, obviously a Valley hero, and general manager Sean Marks, the guy who was basically responsible for putting this team together in the first place. who do you decide with? This time we'll go with Mac first. Mac, your time starts right now.
Look, I'll keep this short and sweet. Talent like KD is it's very rare in the NBA, and you can get a GM and a head coach pretty much anywhere. Those are the dime a dozen. So I think you should take KD's side, no doubt, no questions about it. If you have a shot of keeping KD and Kyrie together with Ben Simmons on the roster and trying to have a competitive season this year, you take it. Steve Nash as a head coach sucks. Sorry, Steve Nash. Sorry, Phoenix Suns fans. I know you love him here in the Valley, but his first year as a coach with the Nets, horrible. And I think he's easily replaceable. Obviously, Sean Marks is the guy that put this team together. But again, you can get good GMs. They're a dime a dozen in the NBA, and you can't replace KD. I'm sorry, but KD is an immeasurable talent. He is a superstar. He's in the top 5% of talent in the NBA. And if you have a chance of keeping him together on this roster, running it back, trying to be better than you were last year with Kyrie on your roster as well, I think you have to take it, because otherwise the option is doing this weird half in, half out rebuild, trying to get talent better, trying to like be competitive without KD. I'm sorry, but you have to keep KD at all costs. I don't care what it takes. Steve Nash is a shit head coach. Sorry, Steve Nash, don't cancel me,
20 seconds.
Suns fans. But if I were Tsai, I would take KD's side in a heartbeat, and I would do whatever it takes to keep KD on my roster.
All right, you have been heard, Mac. Now your turn, Chierstin. Your time starts now.
So first and foremost, great GMs and head coaches are not dime a dozen. They are hard to find. And also it is about taking sides, because Joe Tsai already took his stance to Twitter and said that he is in defense and in support of his front office and his coaching staff. So he already came out and said that. So it kind of is in reality about taking sides one way or another, with Kevin Durant giving him an ultimatum. What message would it send if you allow one player, and I know Sean thinks it happens all the time in the NBA, but what message would it send if you allow one player, I don't care if you're Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or Michael Jordan, to allow them to speak out, throw a fit, say, I don't like the way that they lead, doesn't sit well with me, and you will just go and side with the player and fire the staff, fire the general manager that you had faith in and you personally probably hired to be the general manager, and then signed off on signing your head coach? Like, listen, I get it if you want out. I get it if you don't see eye to eye with the head coach or general manager. It happens all the time in every industry. But at this point, Kevin Durant has crossed a line with now throwing people under the bus. If you don't like it, fine. Say you don't like it, say you want out. But you're going to throw your head coach and your general manager and then have the audacity to say, I'm going to give you an ultimatum to the owner. It's me or them. That's too much. Joe Tsai, I am totally siding with you. Stand up for your front office, for the people that you hired, as well as your head coach, and don't allow a player of any caliber to get away with throwing that kind of fit and supporting them in that. You have to support the people that you've put in place to lead.
All right. I stopped paying attention to the clock, so you did go a little over, but that's my fault. I can't penalize you for that. Look, I agree with you that finding a good coach and a good GM is not a dime a dozen, but like Max said, Steve Nash is not a good basketball coach. So finding a bad basketball coach,
what does that matter though? Why? So a player comes and speaks out against it.
When you're Kevin Durant,
so often.
LeBron James literally got David Black fired.
Cleveland front office under the bus.
When you're one of the greatest players of all time, you get to do that. It's just the reality of it.
LeBron James has done it. It doesn't mean that you should fire your GM as well.
Listen,
if it means you get to keep LeBron James,
if it was
yes,
just
it does.
the head coach, I would get. That's one thing, but you're talking about fire your freaking general manager and your head coach, or keep me.
It's easier to replace a GM than it is to replace LeBron James.
I don't work with ultimatums. No.
Well, unfortunately, you're not Joe Tsai. You're not Kevin Durant.
But listen, Joe Tsai agrees with me.
I mean, yes, I agree with you, but it's not about what Joe Tsai. It's about what would you do
just be saying
if
that,
Joe
but then,
Tsai.
on the other hand, be like, Katie, I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep you here, bro.
Listen, so like I said earlier, I do view this not like he originally came out and said, "Is like you're trading me no matter what." And then the Nets came and they had another meeting with him and they're like, "What can we do to keep you?" And he was honest with them. He's like, "If you want to keep me, I don't like where this team is. I don't like the front office. If you want to keep me, you have to get rid of them." I don't think like I it's not like he came out and was just like, fuck Steve Nash, fuck Sean Marks, I don't want nothing to do with this. He was like, I think he didn't do that originally. It's not like he's ever come out publicly and said this. It was after they had a meeting and then those reports came out. Obviously, we don't know where they came from. Listen, if I'm Joe Tsai, you are in a position, you paid these players all this money, you're trying to win right now. I don't think there's anything you can do. I don't think you can trade KD and do anything to get you closer to a championship, especially with Steve Nash being your coach.
Where does it end? You hire a new coach, and what if he doesn't get along with that guy? I mean, like, where does it end?
Then you fire him until you fire him until you find him.
Like a freaking break.
Like the reality of it is that Steve Nash is not a good coach, and if like I get that firing Sean Marks too might be a little bit of throwing out the baby with the bathwater type thing, but I think the reality of it is that trading KD does not get you any closer to a championship. Firing Steve Nash and keeping KD and getting, because look at what happened.
That's what I'm hearing.
It's not about
just
Steve
drop the
Nash.
hammer. Just drop the hammer, Sean. Just drop the hammer.
One last thing. Look at what happened with Cleveland. They had David Blatt. LeBron James didn't like him. They fired him, hired Tyronn Lue, and what happened? They ended up winning a national championship.
It's not about just the
Drop the
coach.
hammer,
It's also
Sean.
about the
hammer.
hammer.
The hammer will be dropped
Hey.
right now. The winner is Chierstin. Just kidding. It's Mac, obviously. Like, it's not even close. Mac finally gets on the winner.
I'm
today.
gonna throttle you. If Sean goes missing, nobody come looking for him because I murdered him. Let's
better
go.
argument.
I
I still think that Sean got scared because Makayla was visibly upset with him, and he was like, "I have to."
Mac
No,
does
my argument
not-
was
Mac
better.
does not
It's so
scare
much
me.
harder to replace KD than it is a general manager and a head coach. I would fire them in a freaking heartbeat.
Listen,
It
all
sends the
I'm
wrong
saying-
message.
If you're not ready to work in a league of superstars, then don't be an owner of a basketball team.
Yeah, that's a fact. This is what the NBA is for far too long.
It's what the
for
NBA
far
is
too
turned
long.
into. The players have all the control now, and if you're not willing to ride that ride and go along with it, then don't own a basketball team.
That's disgusting.
That's how
That's
the
what
NBA
it is.
No, I don't. It's not disgusting. This is the NBA. The players are the only ones risking stuff here. These billionaires are going to be billionaires no matter what. Steve Nash is still going to be Steve Nash. Sean Marks can get a job somewhere else. Kevin Durant's career can end tomorrow. He could go tear his ACL, tear his Achilles again. His career is over. This being a player-led league is the way it should be. The players should have the power because they are the ones that there is no league.
That's so screwed up to be able to say, like, listen, I don't like your general manager. I don't like the coaching staff. Fire all of them, and then
that's
I'll
how
stay.
it works. That's the reality.
It's not how it works,
Listen,
Sean.
if you had the NBA right now, if you made Mac and I the head coach and the GM of the Phoenix Suns today, people are still watching it because they want to see Devin Booker, they want to see DA. If you put Mac and I on the court tomorrow, the NBA does not exist. That's the reality of sports.
You're turning this into something that it's not. Like, that is such a stretch of an argument.
It's not. It's a player-led league. The players are the most important part of this. They should have the power, especially when you're one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Okay. Facts. I won.
So disagree.
That's all that matters. All right. I think we have enough tension between all of us that we all need to go pop some OGs because
David, do you have
holy
any
cow.
bad takes?
That was quite the argumentative episode, but I'm here for it. We love the spicy takes, but we definitely need some OGs. We need to calm our nerves a little bit. So I'm going to go find a 10 milligram orange creamsicle sativa and chill the fuck out because holy cow, that was awesome. If you want to be like me and get your weekend started early with some OGs, head over to your local dispensary and pick some up now. They have a seasonal limited edition of flavor out right now. It's pina colada, the creamy coconut, and the pineapple blended together so perfectly is the perfect flavor for summer. It's almost as good as the orange creamsicle, but orange creamsicle is still my favorite with pina colada as a close second. We are also partnering with OGs to give you free stuff. And we all know you like free stuff. Enter the Flavoring Life sweepstakes. One winner will receive 3 bags of OGs, including orange creamsicle and tropical flavors, an OG's hat, a PHNX shirt of your choice, and a PHNX annual membership. Sign up at gophnx.com or click the link in our show notes. Check out OGs online at ogsbrands.com or on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. You must be 21 years or older to purchase. Speaking of gophnx.com, sign up for membership while you're there. We might not look like it right now, but we're a family and we all love each other and we want you to become a part of that family.
We probably do look like most people's families.
Yeah,
This is true.
I argue with my
family
sisters
fights
all
like
the time.
Cats and dogs.
I wouldn't have gone hard at y'all if I didn't.
The porn bots are in the chat. Sean has fallen asleep on our
hold on.
our
Listen,
comment.
no, they've been kicked out.
monitor.
They've been kicked out. You didn't need to acknowledge it. They
Sean.
don't disappear here, though.
Sorry, they don't
Thank
appear.
you,
Oh,
thank
well,
you,
there
Sean.
were.
And also, it was intern David that did it.
Oh, thank you, intern David.
Also, I actually made this this comment yesterday. Sean yelled an expletive at me for not going to eat crappy food. And I turned to Makayla and I said, I think that was our moment. I think Sean and I are officially like friends.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm pretty sure I said, quote, go fuck yourself for not eating bar food.
You fucking suck.
Oh, yeah, I said, yeah, whatever.
I wouldn't have done that if I didn't like you. If you're a parent with a child in the car, just like bleep out the rest of this podcast.
Listen, this is PHNX. You got to know what you're getting into.
But seriously, we're a family, so sign up to become a part of that family. You can get your first month for only 50 cents, or you can sign up for an annual membership and get a free t-shirt. There's a ton of great benefits to being a member, including access to our members-only Discord, where you can talk with all of us whenever you want about whatever you want to. We have member-only sales. You're the first to know about fun things like our Madden League, which you can sign up for on our Twitter account. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the fun things. Leave us a 5-star review if you're listening to this on an audio format. We really appreciate it. It helps us out more than you can know. And thanks. Did you have fun, Chierstin?
I had an absolute blast. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend.
Happy Friday, and we'll see you next Friday at 12:30. Bye.